Hello everyone, I am Shupatra Pancha, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, BADSVP Dr. PG Hakati College of Engineering and Technology, Vijaypur. In the last class, I have discussed something about that one of the hashing algorithm, that is Tiger hash. So we have discussed the inner round as well as the outer rounds of that Tiger hash, and also the uses of Tiger hash, and which was also compared with that is MD5 and SHA algorithms. So how it was useful. So now in this class, we'll be discussing one more concept, that is HMAC. So HMAC is something else called as hashed message authentication code. So how we'll be using that hashed message authentication code. So we'll discuss this HMAC. What exactly that HMAC is? It can compute a MAC of the message, that is message authentication code. So before going to this, let me discuss what is that authentication code, message authentication code. So assume that there are a sender and a receiver. So both sender as well as receivers are the authorized users. Say for example, here in this particular book, what they have mentioned is, say the users are Alice and Bob. Alice and Bob are two authorized users. So if Alice wants to send some data to Bob, before sending such data, Alice and Bob both should be authenticated. Authenticated in the sense, while sending the data, Alice should be authenticated to Bob. While receiving the data at the receiver end by Bob, Bob should be authenticated to Alice. So what this HMAC gives is, uh, it's nothing but a authentication. It gives a authentication between Alice and Bob. So can compute MAC of the message M with key K using a hatched MAC, or what I can call HMAC. So what we have to do in this is, we will not send only message authentication code either by Alice to Bob or else by Bob to Alice, but instead a hash value of such MAC will be calculated and it is sent to the other end. That is what we can call it as a hashed MAC. So HMAC is a keyed hash. Once again, so while calculating HMAC, so what we have to use is, so it is by default what you can call it as it's a keyed hash. So as I told in the last class, always hashing is a one way. So why would we need a key? It is already a keyed hash. So there is some questions here. How to compute HMAC? So for computing HMAC, what we need to consider is two obvious choices. One is H of that I told already, that K comma M. M here is a message and K here is a key. So and also we can calculate HMAC in this way also, H of M comma K. That is vice versa. So we can compute HMAC in either two choices, H of K comma M and H of M comma K. Which is better, that we have to discuss which one, whether H of K comma M is better or else H of M comma K is better for calculating HMAC. So should we compute HMAC as H of K comma M, as I discussed in the previous slide? So hashed computed in, so as I said, hashed values always computed in blocks. So let us take one example. Say for example, H of B1 comma B2. B1 comma B2 are the blocks, may be considered in bytes or whatever the data, which is equal to F here means function F of A comma B1. A here is a constant. We'll consider some constant and we'll calculate that hash value f of A comma B1 comma B2 for some f and constant A. For some f, in the sense we can call that as a function for some f and constant A. Then h of B1 comma B2 equal to f of h of B1 comma B2. So this is what how we can write. So here it is f of A comma B1 uh, can be replaced with what, h of B1 comma B2. Let let m dash equal to m comma x. So x is one more value we can consider. then h of k comma m dash. So this is another way we are calculating. Then h of k comma m dash equal to f of h of k comma m comma x. So x here is another constant. Attacker can compute h mac of m dash without k. So this is what h mac. Attacker can compute h mac of m dash, h mac of m dash without k. So that attacker will not consider the particular key here. He can compute h mac of m dash because we have considered here it as a k comma m dash. Is h of m comma k better? So that is what we can call it as yes. But if h of m dash equal to h of m, then we might have h of m comma k equal to h of f of h of m comma k, which is equal to f of h of m dash comma k, which is also equal to h of m dash comma k. So now what we can consider is comparing with h of m comma k with h of m k comma m. So we can say that h of m comma k is better because in h of k comma m, what attacker can do is attacker can compute h of h mac of m dash without k here. So that's what the difference. So we can use h of m comma k. So remember, all we are discussing this hmac is only for authentication between the decided users. Correct way to HMAC, I think this is given by the book, and so we are not going in detail about that HMAC here. So this is just described in RFC 2104, that is the standard. So let B with the block length of hash in bytes be equal to 64 for MD5 and SHA1 and Tiger. So that is, we can consider that 64 bytes. So we'll be considering input padding as well as output padding, that is in hexadecimal. Uh, 36 repeated b times 0 into 0 5c repeated b times, so that value will be considered. Then how we are calculating that hmac is hmac of m comma k equal to h of k xored with output padding. That is what you can consider. The consider is 5c comma h of k xored with ipad. Along with that, the original message m, it will calculate what it will calculate hashed message authentication code. So how we calculate is we'll be considering b ipad and opad for calculation of hashed message authentication code. Okay, now as we are discussing, what are the users of hash users, that is hmac users. So as I said in the first point only, so the main use of this hash users is authentication. Even I have explained what is exactly that authentication is. So it is required for the uh, authorized users. So message integrity in the sense whether message is changed or not, right? Whether, so whatever the message sent by the original sender or authorized sender, uh, so without changing it, whether it is received by the receiver or not, that is what message integrity. So in this case also hmac is used. Then message fingerprint. Fingerprint in the sense, so while sending the data, it is sent with some fingerprint, and the receiver also, so it is received with this particular fingerprint recognized by the authorized users. So for all these purposes, hash is used. Then data corruption detection. If any data is corrupted in between sender and receiver, such data can also be detected by authorized users. Then what next we have is digital signature efficiency. So already while sending some of the documents, very important documents, so such documents can also be sent by digitally signing on such documents. So that digital signature facilities will also be done by this particular hash. So anything you can do with symmetric crypto. So already I told you what is exactly symmetric crypto is. Symmetric crypto is what? A shared secret key is shared between sender and receiver, only a single key. also many clever surprising uses if you use this particular hash in a proper way. So this is what hash uses: authentication, message integrity, message fingerprint, data corruption detection, digital signature efficiency, anything. Uh, Apart from these main hash users, we have many more hash users for authentication purpose. So this is something about hash users. So in the next class, we'll be discussing something about online bits. Thank you.